Hello everybody and welcome back to Planet Zoo, where I did take a little go at Maple Leaf Wildlife Park, and I decided after much deliberation, I'm sorry about no episode yesterday, and that was basically because I didn't feel like I did a very good job at starting this off, so I'm going to start again. It took me like an hour to get my first bronze star. I really don't think it should have taken that long, and it was because I made some mistakes that I then had to rectify. So I'm going to design it in a slightly different way. I've got some different ideas about it, and I also know a little bit more about finding out what the animals need before I order them as well. So let's start again. It's because I didn't have Nancy to help me. This is like the first one where you're off the reins. So yes, here we are in Canada.
After your sterling work in China, I got a bit of good news, better news situation for you. The good news is that I'm promoting you to apprentice zoo manager.
Woohoo!
The better news is you get to build a new zoo from scratch. That said, you will be on your own this time.
It's a beautiful
no help
area.
from Nancy, although she wishes you luck. So, I suppose it's actually more of a good news, better news, and then slightly worse news situation. Either way, it's a chance for you to really prove yourself.
Yeah, so when I first heard this, I was really looking forward to it.
I want to see a good few different habitat and exhibit species, and at least as many guests to look at them. I'd also like you to keep your staff nice and happy as much as you can. And obviously the same's true of the animals as well. Oh, and let's see. Yeah, you should try to turn a good-sized profit to boot, so we can continue our vital
I was
work
managing
elsewhere.
that and the happiness.
There. That should keep you going for a while. I'll check in with you later. Good luck.
Okay. So, got this lovely zoo here. Lots and lots of room. Lots of cool stuff. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to just build a little area with all my bits and bobs for my staff. Now I need that to be kind of out of the way, or at least to be able to be kind of a little bit screened away from people. So kind of over here might be a good place for it. We could kind of put some screening in front, or we could sort of pop it over here out of the way as well, and then maybe have a sort of an enclosure in front and just have the staff path going around to the back there. Or we could just try and start using these islands here. We've got lots of pretty islands that we could use. Lots of area, but I'm not going to get too hung up on hiding these things, because that tends to make things a bit more difficult for me. So I'm actually going to start here, I think. Here is a good place to start. And I'm going to start with some paths. And we're going to go with the log paths again, and I think we're going to be about 6 wide. So this is how I started off last time. Obviously I wasn't quite as quick with it. And then we'll just pull the length a bit bigger, so it doesn't take forever to make the path. There we are. So we've got a path there, and we'll just put a path through here. And then that'll probably turn into some kind of bridge over here. So if I just turn it around a little bit there. Wonderful. So I'm kind of thinking that what I might do... See, there's my bridge starting there. No, 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 get out, get out. So, now I want to make myself a little bit of an enclosure. I don't know what it's going to be for yet, we'll see. We'll find out in a minute. So I'm just going to make it out of wooden logs. And try not to put any monkeys in it. Or if I do, I need to put the barrier climbing thingy in it. So I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to put a staff path. I'm going to go back to the path, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to put a staff path, and I'm going to have it a little bit smaller. We don't need a big staff path. I'm going to want it... Ah, man. Okay, I think what I want to do is to start it kind of over here, maybe. And then try and bring it round. Because then I know how much I've got there, how much space I've got. So I've got a little bit of space for a compound there, and then I can put like a vets and stuff like that behind here, I think. That will will be what I will do. And take angle snap off. Enable square paths. Still not really doing square paths, is it? Angle snap. 45-degree angle snap. Not that I'm particularly worried about that. So they've got a nice path all the way along there. And then I can make barriers and I can put down certain facilities that we're going to need. So, what facilities are we going to need? Lots of them, probably. So I think first we're going to need a zookeeper. We're going to need like a trading center and all that sort of thing. So, might need to run more pathway. We'll see. I'm quite happy to use these ones just for now. So let's put a small keeper hut in. Actually, to have that closer would probably be better. Okay, then a quarantine. Which is quite big, actually. I'm just going to kind of get them quite close together. We're going to have a little enclosure here. A vet surgery is also quite huge. Okay, I need more path, I think. Do that, and I can put a small enclosure here with something like some tortoises or something, you know, something little, and I can have all that stuff in behind it, and then we can have another small enclosure maybe on this side as well. And we can always pull that up there, and then I can have an enclosure over here as well, maybe over the bridge and far away. I might even make a bridge of staff path over to that side too, so they can just go from the vets or whatever and over to here. Make a big enclosure over there maybe. But yeah, I just want a small enclosure in front of here. So yes, anyway, where were we? We were putting in a vet, but I needed to make sure that I had enough room. This is why everything was so squished in, because I was worried that I would not have enough room for it all. Fit kind of there. Hey, stop failing the terrain modification. That's not funny. So there's the vets. So we'll get quite a lot of stuff in here if we're clever about it. So this tells me what I need. I need a research center. They're quite little, so that can probably go around next to the keeper's hut. I just want to make sure it's straight though. Okay, the research center in there. We do not have a trade center, a workshop, or a staff room. Trade center's quite small. Workshop, quite small. What about the staff room? Vet surgery, staff room small. Although it's quite big. It says it's small, but it's big. However, I think that would fit actually quite well because of the, yeah, it would fit well in that middle section there, look. Well, let's try and get it straight again. It's not quite, it's a little off center there. I think that's about right. So I know this is quite built up, but it's a good way to get everything in a small space. What was it? Staff room. Oh, okay. So we kind of need. We do need a research center. Are we even paused? No. A research center. And there was something else. A trade center, maybe? Yeah, you can tell I haven't got a trade center because down here you can see there's no animal trading popped up. As soon as I get the trade center, I'll be able to do that. Hopefully this will just fit in nicely there. So this is a little bit of a grey start. A grey, gloomy start. But we have everything the zoo will need. I can make prettier ones later if I need to, or if I want to. I might not even want to. Let's start with the glass barrier. I'm going to put it along here. I need to make it smaller there. Get down to about maybe 4 or 5 meters. 5 meters would be about right, I think. Then we're going to change over to wooden logs. In fact, no, we probably don't need to actually. Put that back up. 17 meters. And then we'll do logs around the outside. So this will be our first little enclosure. I could make that bigger. Make a sort of a 6 meter or so section there. And then like a big section. Finding the barrier is much easier to build though. I just do something like that. I'd be fine, and then I'm going to want to put a door in, but probably the best place to put that in would be around the back here. Whoa! What do you mean I can't put a wooden habitat gate in around there? What do you very mean? Out there, I'll be fine. It was the wrong way around, you see. It's back to front. Okay, so now we need to find some animals that we're going to put in here. So to get my bronze star, which I did already have, but as I say, I thought I'd spent too long getting it. Although I spent 12 minutes getting all of the basics up and just one enclosure done. So I need to get some... What do you mean I need a workshop? I don't have room for a workshop. Oh, I do actually have room for a workshop. I thought I'd already done one of those, though. Workshop will have to go in around here. Get that kind of straight up. So yeah, a bit of a not a very nice looking thing, but we're hiding it kind of behind this nice. You know what? I've put staff path there, and I've put a glass barrier, so I may need to change that path. It's not awful. One thing I will want to do straight away though is to put some like donation boxes in, and probably around here would be good, and then maybe one up on the bridge, because I did notice them congregating there last time when I put an enclosure around here. I know, meta knowledge, I shouldn't have it, but I do, so yes. And then we'll probably want like an educational speaker. Apparently I can't put that down yet. Okay. Education board. Oh, I don't have any power. Right, so the next thing I'm going to need is power, actually. That would be much, much more useful than trying to do things that I don't have access to yet. So, I need somewhere, a place where I can put this. Probably next to the workshop over here will be a good place, I imagine. Hopefully that will power everything. So now if I want an educational speaker, can I have one? I may need to actually play the scenario a little bit before it will allow me to do that. But I can't give it any content because there are no animals in here yet. So the next thing we need to do is to get some animals. We've got some tortoises. So I think I'm going to start with you guys. Generally, they seem to do quite well in pairs. They are... It's like loads of them. It's well cool. Maybe we'll get another female as well. Cool. We also have American Bison. Now, if you've never seen a species before, I know pretty much with tortoises that they're pretty easy to care for. They're fine. But I don't know much about these guys. I don't know if they like to be with other like bison, if they like to be with how many other bison, if they eat tortoises, you know, that sort of thing. So you go to the Zoopedia, and this little species data button here is actually quite useful. So this will tell me that the bison needs to be at least 3. So we want 1 male, and it needs lots of females with it. Okay. Male bachelor group size 3 to 15. Female bachelor group size 3 to 15. I don't really know what that means. I would go with this group size one. If it tells you 1 male, I wouldn't go with more than 1 male. It's a matriarchal society with 1 dominant bull. It's polygynous. Neutral relationship with humans. The guests can't enter the habitat. So we could make a petting zoo. Like, if you can, it'll tell you whether the guests are allowed in and whether they can come in and just pet the tortoises and stuff like that. And they might be able to do that sort of thing. Tells you how long they live, how heavy they are, their size, when they mature, all that sort of thing. What it doesn't tell you, I notice, is how much room they actually need and things like that. So research status, we know that they like to eat hay, but the rest is all locked out. So we can go to the Zoopedia and we can find out all their habitat enrichments and all their food enrichments and what to put in for them. So that's again another easier way to know exactly what I'm looking for rather than necessarily using the filters. They like pronghorn antelope, and they will be enriched by sharing their habitat with these species. But they'll probably be fine with the tortoises in there too. Their natural habitat, they need 420 meters. I don't know if that's each. They need a temperature of 0 to 40 degrees. We may need heaters there. And they do not need to climb. They need a grade 3 boundary. Now then, I don't know how good this boundary is. Is that grade 3? How do I know? Let's go back into like construction. No, not construction. Yeah, maybe construction actually. I want to know, I want to go back into barriers actually, and I want to see what kind of barrier this is. This wooden barrier I've put in. So it is grade 3, so that's good enough for bisons. So I needed to really look at that to start with. I want to also know in the habitat section how big this habitat actually is. So I can see that this is only 232 meters cubed. So it's not big enough for the bisons. We need smaller things to be in here. We need to make them a bigger pen. Twice as big. So if we could make them a pen maybe over here. Or this might be better for paths actually. We could maybe make them a pen over here. And then what I would probably do is have the staff path going over so that it could also help with their stuff over there. I mean, there's not much room for any more keepers' huts or anything like that, unfortunately. I don't know how many keepers can use one keeper hut. I don't know if it gives me any information. Oh, we're still playing. It's not good. The inspector is arriving in 15 months. No, no, no. So I need really small stuff in this one. But that's good. We've learned about the American bison, and that's really what we should have been doing the whole time. And I should have been doing last time. So a peafowl. So a peafowl, if you look at the Zoopedia, they may be quite happy to coexist with the tortoises. These guys are going to need more space. Those guys are going to need stuff to climb on and things. Snow leopards, timber wolves, and there's a gorilla there as well. No, I think my first 2 species will be easy to care for. I will have my tortoises and I will get 2 Indian peafowl. Unfortunately, I'll have to go back in and have a look for a breeding pair. Peafowl, I think they'll be better off with a male. They might be a little unhappy without a male, but I'll keep going in and looking for it. That is a real shame. Refresh the list, actually. It might have changed. Sometimes they do. Nope. Well, what a shame. We could buy some grizzly bears. Let's go and have a look what they're like and what they need. So they need to live in a group size of 1 to 2. They need... They're promiscuous and they will fight over foraging grounds and mates. So you don't want to have too many of them. They want to be on their own. We make them in their one pen. General information. No, we don't want to know about that. Natural habitat. They can live in quite cold temperatures, which is good for this map, actually. And they want 750 meters squared. I wish I knew whether that was per bear. I do wish I knew. And it needs to be a grade 4 climb-proof barrier. Okay. Why don't we buy them and we'll just put the turtles in here. And then when we can get the peafowls, when we can get them a male, I think they might be a little bit unhappy without a male. So that's why I'm a bit like, eh. So let me find them again. Go into their Zoopedia and have a little look at their requirements for species group size. 4 to 20, up to 4 males, up to 16 females. Well, I can go and see. I could get them and I could see whether they're okay for a little bit without the males. And I will get them a male as soon as I can. I think that's what we'll do there. So we've got the Indian peafowl. I've got another Indian peafowl. What else? What other animals do we want? There are only males of this one. We've got some sable antelope, but they are all female. And we've got timber wolves. We could make a wolf pen and a bear pen. And that would be 3 different species, and then just wait for until the right things come up, because I don't want to have things that are not going to be happy. So Zoopedia for you guys. This is where I went wrong. I bought like 9 timber wolves, and I didn't realise that you can actually just go in and look at things ahead of time and see that group size on timber wolves 2 to 12, up to 12 males and up to 12 females. That wasn't what it was a minute ago. Because I was thinking, oh, they need to be in a pack. That's really weird. That's completely changed from the last time I looked at Timberwolves. Am I definitely looking at the Timberwolf section here? Dominance, an alpha male and an alpha female. Because they were fighting. They were having terrible trouble. I don't know if it's maybe updated or what. I'm very confused now. There's definitely a Timberwolf. Okay. Well, I bought a ton of them. And then they were really unhappy with their space and everything. Okay. So I'm going to buy... Did I already buy the bear? I can't remember. Let's go and have a look at animal storage and see if I bought the bear. No, I didn't. I just bought the peafowls and the tortoises so far. Okay. So I want to buy... Could have black bears, but to get the female I would have to spend conservation credits. I try not to do that if I can. But we can buy a grizzly bear. So I'm just going to buy a male and a female. I don't want them to be too old. So why don't we buy the slightly younger one? And then a maybe 9-year-old maple female there. Okay. And then I also want to buy... What are the timber wolves, wasn't it? So I'm going to buy a male and a female to start with. And then I'll see about expanding them later. Okay, because we don't... Honestly, what we need for this, for bronze, we need 3 species in the zoo and 350 guests. We need 7 habitat species and 4 exhibit. And then we need 10 habitat species and 6 exhibit species. So what we need... I'm looking for gold at the moment. And I'm looking for the yearly profits and all that sort of thing. But really, by the time I've got all this, the profit will look after itself. So I've got 51,000 left. I've got a lot of animals. So what I want to do now is, as I said, I'm going to make a path down to here. I'm going to have some food and drink stalls and things around the place. I'm going to have a path needing to go up to here. I'll probably have some kind of enclosure up there. have an enclosure here, and like I say, this little section of keepers and things like that will go over the water here, and it will service this area as well. And then we're going to need to go up here as well. I don't know, we might not need to before we've completed the scenario, honestly. So I want a path now. I want a guest path. I want it to be 6 wide again. That's not width. That's length. That's 6 wide. And I want it to go to about here. And then I want it to spread off. Maybe not quite that. Let's take the angle snap off, and then we'll be a little bit more free to put the path where we want. So I can either put the path going around there, or it can go up here, and then the enclosure can be by the water. Well, because I'm going to need the staff path coming over the bridge there, I would say the best way to put the guest path, and I need to probably make that a little bit shorter. The best way to do the guest path is probably just to go around here with it. And then just leave that there. And then just extend the staff path over the bridge there. I want that about 4 meters because you don't need it that big. And we're going to make a bridge. Look at that. Look how much better I'm getting at building nowadays as well. So I made myself a bridge over the water. That's all I needed. So this is already looking so much better than the previous one. So now I want to make a barrier. A barrier. I need a non-climbable barrier of at least 4 to put the bears in. So I'm going to need a brick barrier, I would say, because that's going to be a resistance grade of 5. Now, the glass is a resistance grade of 2. The mesh is also a resistance grade of 2. Now, I don't know how I'm going to make it that the guests can see the bears. Because the bears are going to break out of glass. I'm slightly worried about this. Maybe we need to, like, put them in a pit or something so that they can look down. Maybe I need to have, like, a viewing bridge or something for them. I might have to make that over here. I might have to, like, make a viewing bridge so people can look over the top at the bears. Because I don't think we're going to just be able to... Now, how high is it going to need to be as well? I have not checked this. Where's my Zoopedia? I want Zoopedia, please. Zoopedia, where is it? Can I not just get into the Zoopedia from somewhere? It's got to be here somewhere, right? There it is. Okay. So, I want to go and have a little look at the... Grizzly, but yeah, it's a grizzly bear I've got, isn't it? Grizzly bear. G for Grizz. GR for grizzly bear. So I want to know. It did say research status, interspecies enrichment. Oh, where was it? There was something about the barriers and how big they needed to be. Was it in species data somewhere? Reproduction in captivity, natural habitat. Oh yeah, a grade 4 climb proof boundary requirement. So I can't just put glass in because they will break out. So I need to do something over here to make the guests able to see them. But it didn't tell me that it needs to be a particular size or anything like that. So I'm going to go with the 2 meter high. Maybe we will make it a bit higher. Maybe we'll go with 3 meters. Going to be a nice big brick habitat for them. There we are. So we've made it all out of brick. However, I'm going to need some way for the guests to be able to see. So I'm going to undo the path here. And I'm going to see if I can make the path like higher, like a viewing platform. No, get out. No, stop it. Escape. Right. So I'm going to delete it if I can. going to redo it so that the guests have like basically a bridge so they can get over. Right, so I'm going to do that. That 6 meter wide. And we're going to make them a bridge. I'm going to take it off delete path. So I have a little thing there. And then we're going to go whoop. And we're going to go whoop. I'm going to make it a little bit less long. And there, we have basically now made, I'm just going to escape out of there, like a viewing platform so people can go up there and see the bears. And of course what I'm going to put in there then, barriers. Can you see how much better at this game I'm getting now? No, I want to go into facilities actually. Facilities, and I want to put a donation box like right up. Just as it gets to the top there. So they'll be in there looking at the bears, looking down on the bears, and the bears hopefully will not be able to climb out of here. Now we're also going to need a habitat gate, and it's going to need to be a strong one. So basically I'm trying to go for gold stars before I've even really started, honestly, but it's fine. We do not need a wooden habitat gate, we need a nice big strong habitat gate. And that can go about there. So they can come in from this side, from the keeper's hut, across the bridge, into here. So I'm trying to deal well with the water as well as I can. So this is where the grizzly bears are going to go. Now in the meantime, while I'm building all of this, what I really should have been doing is putting everything into quarantine, because that's where it's all going to need to go eventually. So let's go to the animal trading and let's go to animal storage. And let's just take all of you guys that are in the trade center. And then I'm going to need to hire some staff for this, but we'll move you anyway. We want to move you into quarantine 1. Hello. Thank you. So they are all relocating to quarantine 1. To do that, we're going to need some staff to move them, because it's not going to work without. Let's go to zoo. Let's go to staff, and let's get them all hired. So keeper, over here. Okay, you can just go there. Let's have 2 keepers, because we've got 2 pens so far. Let's have 3 keepers actually, because I'm going to be building another pen very soon. And then I would like to also hire a caretaker, or 2. I'll probably have 2 so that they can move things around. And then I'm going to need a mechanic and a vet and a security. Maybe security can wait a little longer until we get guests in. So I'm going to just play it slowly, and they're going to just go around relocating all the animals from the trade center to quarantine. And in the meantime, I'm going to try and make this as nice for bears as possible, I guess. So I want something that's good for grizzly bears. A good food bowl for them. Food and water. You're not for grizzly bears, apparently. A large food tray that is 500. That's good for grizzly bears, apparently. Just going to make sure that the habitat is large enough for them. I want to have a look at how big it is. It's 1,000 meters squared. That should be fine for them. So give them that, and I'll give them a water bowl as well. So we just give them all food and water to start with. Most things like this. Yeah, this water pipe thing. So we'll give them that for now. So they've got food and water. They've got a keeper. That's the very basics. And now my tortoises and things over here. I put a habitat gate in? Yes, I did. And they're going to need, again, probably a water pipe. I'll put that at the back near their gate, I guess. Whee! There we go. Why can't they have a water pipe? It's obstructed, apparently. Can't put it in any good places. That's reasonable. Okay. And we'll give them a food thing, and then we can just put them all in as soon as they're quarantined. What kind of food thing do they have? Giant tortoise and also the Galapagos. Yeah, they have one of these food things. That is fine by me. You can have one of those. Happy with that. Okay, could do with some lighting as well. Quarantine full. Staff queuing. Right, we best get some of these animals out of quarantine if we can. Have a quick look. We've got so animal. No, don't want animal market. No. Ah. Zoo animals in quarantine. So these guys, when it says quarantine complete, I can move them. So that tortoise and that tortoise and that tortoise are all ready to move into their new pen. Okay, so who else have we gotten? This is why I like doing it this way, it's quick. Then we've got the 2 bears, they've been quarantined already. So have the peafowl. Let's do the peafowl next. And they're going in here as well. Hopefully they won't fight with the tortoises. And hopefully they'll have enough room and stuff. And I'll need to sort out... I like to just click on the animals and sort their pens out kind of afterwards as well. So now we've also got 2 bears that can come out. So grizzly bears. Move into your nice habitat over there, which is nice and strong for you. And you've got a nice big... a nice viewing platform. The guests, I'm hoping that will work, having the viewing platform where the guests can see the bears. We're just chucking them all in. So what I'll want to do is, as they get chucked in, I'm going to want to just make sure that they're at least happy enough. 61% welfare. They're not going to be... yeah, they're not awful. Right, so enrichment. They're pretty good other than the food and toy enrichment, actually. The peafowl. They're not too bad for social either. So I'm quite happy with that. Obviously, if I want them to breed, then I'm going to need a male. But that's fine at the moment. So they all look pretty good. Like, they're not gonna die anytime soon. So I want to just put some enrichment in for them. But because they're not too badly off, I'm going to go check on the bears. And just make sure that they're okay. Injured. Well, that's annoying. How did you get injured, dude? So they're not too happy with their habitat, these 2. I'm just going to pause it. And I'm going to give them a little bit of help because they are really like low in their welfare. So they're really unhappy with their terrain, their plants, and they need a hard shelter in there. So let's just do that for them. Give them a nice big wooden shelter, maybe? Would you like one of those? Just pop it down there for you. How's that? So I'll just play it for a second, see if that helped them with that. So that's helped them with that part of it. Food enrichment. Let's see if we can find any grizzly bear appropriate food enrichment. We have no food enrichment apparently, and we have no toys. We have some climbable objects, but everything else is going to need to be perfect because we're not going to be able to give them enrichment until we've researched it, seemingly. That's fine by me, though. We'll do that in a minute. Everyone seems okay at the moment, though. We might have to do some heating and cooling and things like that, but terrain and plants should be easy to sort out for them and make them feel a little bit happier in their habitat. Even if I can't do enrichment quite yet. So I'd like to call the vet for this animal. Because it's injured. I'm not happy with that, obviously. And I would like to just have a quick look at what terrain they want. So, they're not happy because there's too much long grass. But other than that, they're pretty good. So, I'm going to put some more like soil and short grass and rock and stuff in. Just do a little bit of terrain painting for them. And they should be super happy with that then. We could maybe even, like... oh, you can't change the elevations or anything, unfortunately. But that's fine. So I'm going to start off with a nice big, large, huge cursor. I'm going to change everything in here to short grass rather than long. Okay, so that's going to help a little bit with everything. And from there then, we've got too much short grass. Not enough long grass now. So they want a little bit of long grass. So we'll just maybe just chuck a bit in at the end there. Oh no, we've still got too much long grass. Okay. Sorry, change it all back to short grass. I'm being silly here. So we need soil. That's what we need, some soil. So maybe this end near their sleeping bit can be a bit soily. I'm going to bring the size down so I can be a bit more specific about it. And we'll just do a bit of this. Give them some soil. There's still apparently too much long grass in their habitat, but I don't understand how, because I thought I'd taken it all away. I don't know how that's possible. I had made it all... Well, maybe I didn't do it enough. No, I had made it all short grass as far as I was concerned. So we want 100% short grass in this. Okay. Okay, we've got 3% long grass, but that's fine. That will do. Then we'll bring this down. I want a bit more rock and a bit more soil. So maybe we'll do a bit of rough rock over here. Patch it along the edge there a little bit. Maybe a couple of bits there. And put some soil in. There's too much short grass still, but that's only just too much. There we are, happy bears. So what I'd ideally like to do with bears, like a bear enclosure, where you've got all this rock and soil, in a zoo I was making, I would make them like some big mountains and stuff, and I would make those like, they could climb up them and stuff, and they'd have them all like rocky, and then I put soil around the bottom, and then they'd have grass around that, because I like stuff like that. Okay, so there's a timber wolf ready to be let out. So I would like to make a timber wolf area. That might be nice for timber wolves, depending on how big it is. If not, we may need to put them somewhere else. Oh, I know where I could put them. I could do another bridge over to here, and I could give them a little... Yeah, that would do. That would absolutely do. Because then they're quite close to this as well. And it's still kind of hiding it from the guests, I think, ish. So let's do a path over here. So hopefully then I've got all of my animals out somewhere. So let's have a look at what we've got now. So I've got Vanessa the Timberwolf in the vet surgery. I've got you in quarantine. Everyone else is in a habitat. So that's absolutely ace. That's brilliant. The problem with this zoo is it's quite spread out. There's like lots of places where you clearly need to put paths, and then you can sort of have a habitat up there, but then if anything happens to them, then the vet's got to run like freaking miles. So I might put little keeper's huts just beside. Obviously this keeper hut will do for this, and this, I feel. And then up here, I think we're going to need another keeper's hut up here. And then probably up in this area, we're going to need another keeper's hut up there. I think we could have a nice habitat, a big habitat there, and a nice big habitat up here. And then up here, I feel like we could maybe have crocodiles. Just a feeling. Just a feeling about the crocodiles. So far we've got 3 species. We haven't even opened the zoo, but we have 3 species. So let's get this bridge going. I need me a bridge. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, I do not like that at all. So what I think we might need to do with this is come from here. No, don't be obstructed. No, no, no. So I need to delete some paths around here. It's probably the staff path causing issues, and we'll pull that back a bit. And then I'll take it off delete path, and I'll see if I can get them to join, which I can. And then let's see if we can get the staff path to join up as well. No, it's completely obstructed. Rats! Oh, this is terrible. What am I to do? Alright. Let's try pulling the bridge down. It's already got all this going on, you see, and that's the issue with it. It might be that it's impossible to do. We'll have to see. Snappers off. Seems to be very, like, wanting me to... It doesn't seem to want to curve at all. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna try not lifting it. I'll just go straight across the water if we can. We don't want to go down, we want to go... Oh, okay, I see. We just want to go straight. Ah, I see. Okay, so we're never going to be able to get this to work with this staff path, unfortunately. However, one thing I've realised is I maybe don't actually need a staff path going that way. It would be handy to have one. But they can get around this way. And also, it's gonna annoy me though. So what I can do is I can just... That's like already, it's not even lifted, you know that. It's really, that's what's annoying about it. But it's fine. I need to delete this path away. Because it's not needed. I could even expand their little habitat a bit more if I wanted to. Don't know if I can be bothered with that right now, but you know. Kind of unfortunate that I'm trying to squeeze things into these tiny little spaces and I probably shouldn't be. I should probably be just using the space. But I don't mind having a small little place for my dudes. Okay.